which is why you see on The View, Whoopi Goldberg justifying abortion by citing the Ten Commandments. Because unfortunately on the left, again, when you get rid of Judeo-Christian religion, what you end up with is new sacraments. And the new sacraments of the far left include things like justifying child sacrifice.
On The View, Whoopi Goldberg recently had one of her craziest, if not her wildest meltdown of all time. This time she was attacking Christians and trying to use the Ten Commandments against them and in favor of her own religion, which is wokeism. And in this video, Ben Shapiro absolutely rips Whoopi Goldberg apart for all of those statements that she made over on The View. And of course, you know, Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin, and the rest of them agreed with her 110% because that's just what they do over there. Let's check out this video here of Ben Shapiro ripping Whoopi Goldberg apart for her wild statements on The View recently.
Once you get rid of monotheistic religion, you just fill it with some other form of religion. You could fill it with scientific atheism, which at least has a track record of, scientific progress. Or you can fill it with a pagan morality. And that pagan morality is what most people tend to fill it with, which is why you see on The View, Whoopi Goldberg justifying abortion by citing the Ten Commandments. Because unfortunately on the left, again, when you get rid of Judeo-Christian religion, what you end up with is new sacraments. And the new sacraments of the far left include things like justifying child sacrifice, in the sense that you are talking about the justification of the termination of pregnancy and calling it moral. This is a big difference from the 1990s. When I was growing up, safe, legal, and rare at least acknowledged the innate sinfulness and tragedy of an abortion. That's why it was supposed to be rare. Now the idea is that the Ten Commandments justify abortion. Here is moral scion Whoopi Goldberg.
And it's not mentioned in the Big Ten. I'm just going to say. No. In the Big Ten, it is not mentioned. The commandments.
If you enjoy content like this, and make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Isn't it? Because I figured God was pretty clear. Here's the stuff that'll make your life better on earth. Here's the thing. Don't lie, because you don't want people lying to you. Don't mess with somebody's wife, because you're going to be mad if they're messing with yours. Just, common sense stuff.
Say, thou shalt not kill.
They believe that. Yes, well, here's the thing. I think thou shalt not kill cannot be used as the block, because we allow wars all the time.
Yes, we do.
The crusades.
No, you idiot.
About all these things.
We allow guns.
No, you stupid person. No.
Some conversation to be had here. So you can either you.
I don't understand how Whoopi's saying that we allow wars. That's kind of like saying we allow murderers. Like, if it was up to me and if it was up to 99% of the population, there wouldn't be any wars. There's just a few world leaders out there that are very bloodthirsty and money hungry, and war helps them get that money. So that argument makes zero sense. And it's crazy that The View is now taking the route of trying to spin Christianity and spin the Ten Commandments in the Bible into supporting their ideas, when it just doesn't, and it's not even close. Like I said, this is one of the wildest statements Whoopi Goldberg has ever made on The View, because it's not even close to being true.
Thou shalt not kill. Yeah. For everybody.
Yes.
And everything. And everything. Or we have to talk about all the things that you and I need to do.
Wait, so her logic is, just to get this straight, that when the Ten Commandments says thou shalt not murder, okay, the word is murder, it's not kill. As I mentioned yesterday on the show, the word in Hebrew for killing, if you were putting it in the Ten Commandments, would be lo taharog. It's a completely different word. The word in the Ten Commandments is lo tirtzach, which literally means do not murder, which is not the same thing, because you can kill it in self-defense. That's not murder. She is basically saying that if you are willing to execute child rapists and murderers, then you should also be willing to excuse the killing of the unborn. Why? Because this is now a sacrament on the left. Let's be real about this. That is why they're now twisting the Bible. By the way, she's violating one of the Ten Commandments right there by citing God as authority for abortion. She's violating number 3, not taking God's name in vain. It's kind of a biggie. The definition of...
And I'm sure you guys have seen it at this point, but I did a video yesterday, I believe, on Bill Maher coming out and saying on his show, on late night, whatever it's called, the Bill Maher live TV show. They all have the dumbass names. But Bill Maher said recently that he thinks abortion is murder, is killing. And he just doesn't care. And I think that's actually the stance of a lot of leftists. I think Bill Maher, like the leftists like to say, said the quiet part out loud. And I think he revealed the true thoughts of most leftists out there. And that I think Whoopi Goldberg probably thinks abortion is murder too, but she just is okay with it. And she doesn't want to admit that that's the case like Bill Maher did, because she wants to act like she's like morally superior and that she has these principles. In reality, they don't care about any of that. All they care about is their side winning. It's about their abortion ban. Like they're not being abortion bans countrywide. And it doesn't mean that that's going to be better for the country or better for the individuals or better, overall, being a God-fearing country. It just means that their side won, and that's all they care about.
Taking God's name in vain, by the way, is not saying, gee, damn it. Okay, the definition of taking God's name in vain is justifying evil action in the name of God. That's what it is. And that's exactly what she is doing right there. But this has become a sacrament on the pagan left. On the pagan left, abortion is not just something terrible that sometimes people have to do. It is something that is an affirmative good. And that is perverse. And the sacraments include things like abortion, climate change, as well as, of course, trans ideology.
And they treat people who have abortions now as if they're like war veterans or something. They honor them as if they're war veterans, as if they've gone through this tough and noble battle. And it's like, in very rare cases when you have to have an abortion, it's like you're going to die or the baby's going to die. It's like, I can somewhat understand it, that you would, show some sympathy for the people. But if they just had unprotected sex and, it was just like a one night stand thing and they just don't feel like raising a kid and then they have an abortion, it's like, why would you celebrate that? That child never even had a chance at life, and it was your fault. It was your actions that conceived the child. So I don't understand why they get celebrated so much and why they act like it's such a noble thing to do. It's actually the exact opposite.
Which is why you had the bizarre spectacle yesterday of the legendary women's basketball coach Dawn Staley, who again is only famous because men and women have different leagues. Here she was yesterday suggesting that trans women should be allowed to play in NCAA events. Here we go.
I'm under the opinion of if you're a woman, you should play. If you consider yourself a woman and you want to play sports or vice versa, you should be able to play.
Here's the thing about this. I didn't even think of that until just this second. Okay. This is actually a 300 IQ play by Dawn Staley. I follow college sports a lot, primarily college baseball and college football. And I understand this is just a recruiting tactic for Dawn Staley. What Dawn Staley is doing is a no-lose situation. Because number one, she's getting on the good side of the wokies that run everything, that run the NCAA, that run ESPN, that run everything revolving around her sport. Number two, if there were any trans men, whatever the hell, go into women's basketball, they would obviously dominate because they dominate every single sport that they go into. And Dawn Staley getting on their good side here instead of saying they shouldn't be in the sport. And if she said that, they wouldn't go play for South Carolina. But now that she's on the good side of these trans women that are going to go dominate her sport, if they're allowed to, she's going to recruit them. So it's a no-lose situation for Dawn Staley. She'd probably been waiting to get asked that question so that she could recruit some trans women to get on her team so she could go win more national championships.
That's my opinion. You want me to go deeper?
Do you think transgender women should be able to participate
that's your question you want
basketball?
Me to ask. I mean, you want to ask, so I'll give you that. Yes. So now the barnstorm of people are going to flood my timeline and be a distraction to me on one of the biggest days of our game. And I'm okay with that. I really am.
Okay, I'm just going to point out right here that we made an entire movie called Lady Ballers about precisely this.
Okay, nobody cares, Ben. I think Ben did a good job at breaking down Whoopi Goldberg's statements there. Obviously, not a big fan of Ben Shapiro anymore, but he definitely did do a great job of breaking down that little meltdown by Whoopi Goldberg. Let me know in the comments what you're thinking about Whoopi Goldberg and The View kind of using Christianity as a weapon now, to prove that they are morally superior, to prove that the people who are their detractors, the View's detractors like me, and like a lot of you who watch this are wrong. And they're actually trying to use the religion that a lot of you guys follow, against you and against me as well. And it's just, it's blasphemous. But let me know in the comments what you're thinking about this whole Ben Shapiro versus Whoopi Goldberg situation. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I hope to see you guys on the next one.